Greetings, it's Delft Compiler and welcome to the Introduction to Blender for Game Developer series. In this specific video we will look through the navigation controls of Blender and observe how we can move around our 3D scene. Alright, but before we go to the navigation, it's important to look at the most important for us area of this workspace and of many others. Okay, here we have a 3D viewport. In the 3D viewport, for now, we have a default cube in the middle, a camera, and a point light. The 3D viewport is basically our scene or our 3D world. In this area, we can see all the different 3D objects we have in the project. We can manipulate them, for example, changing their transforms and interact with them, and of course, the 3D scene itself for a variety of purposes. For example, change the layout, modeling, animating, texture painting, etc. So in order to effectively use this application, it is important to move our camera, the screen, let's so call it virtual camera, and to be able to see other meshes and objects, for example this cube, from different angles. Great. So the first control we will have a look at is called orbiting. We can rotate the view, our screen, around a certain point, for example in this case by default, it is in the middle of our cube, in the middle of coordinate systems. So in order to do that, we can hold the middle mouse button, so the mouse wheel, and drag it around, dragging our mouse. So as you can see here, I can rotate my entire screen around this cube in order to have a look at it from different sides. The next option is not any less important than the previous one, because for now we can rotate only around the point, but we can exactly move this point of interest, around which the entire screen rotates. In order to do that, hold Shift and do the same operation with your mouse. So hold middle mouse button and just move your mouse. Doing that, as you can see, we can move around, panning the view of the 3D world. So right now, if I will try to rotate my camera around a point, it won't be in the middle of our coordinate system. It will be somewhere where we have it placed, somewhere here, for example. Next important control, which I have already shown, is zooming in or zooming out. We can go closer or further away from a certain point of interest. So for example here, if I scroll mouse wheel upwards, we're getting closer to something. If I scroll downwards, we are getting further away. So for example, I can have a look at my cube from pretty close distance. And the last but not least is about focusing our entire screen on a specific object. In order to do that, for example, first of all, we need to select this cube, and any other object you want to focus on. In order to do that, you can left mouse button click on a specific object and should be selected. You can check it, that is, if an object has an outline of a specific color that you can set up. By default is yellow. Or you can select an object here in hierarchy. I will tell you more about hierarchy in the next video. So for now, let's imagine a situation where we have this cube somewhere far away and it is really not possible to see what's going on there, nor edit this object comfortably. So what should we do now? Of course, we can go back using pan, orbit, and zoom in, but sometimes it may be kind of problematic, like taking too much time. We can speed things up. For example, if we have this object selected, we can press point dot on the numpad key. Dot on numpad period allows us to zoom in and focus on a specific object of our selection. Nowadays, not all the keyboards contain numpad, so it's kind of impossible to press a key that doesn't exist. You can of course change the binding, for example here in Edit, Preferences, and a key map. Here you can either find it by the name, it's called frame selection, or by key binding. We can convert here, for example, we remember that it's period on the numpad. So I go numpad, period. And we can see numpad period in 3D view is called frame selection. So here we can change the key. Alright, so right now I recommend you to try out and get accustomed to those controls before following to the next tutorial. These are actually the basics of usage of Blender, and it is essential to get comfortable with it. Without it, the further journey may not be as pleasant as you may expect, and of course, as I would like you to feel. So please spend a few minutes flying around, and after you feel confident, you can proceed. So, thank you for watching, give a like, post a comment, and of course subscribe if you found it any helpful. And see you all in the next video.